Ooh, Mandalorian Funko Pop. Okay. So yeah, that's my Funko Pop I got like a month ago for the Mandalorian. Pretty awesome. I love it. I don't think I've ever showed it in a video yet, but it's pretty awesome. So yeah, but I'm here not to review a Funko Pop. I'm here to review episode 4 of The Mandalorian, titled The Sanctuary. So let's get right to it. It's just gonna be spoilers, of course, so if you've not watched the episode, go watch it and then come back right here to this video. I demand you, go watch it. Even to watch it again, I don't know. So let's now get to the review. So I watched this episode at midnight on Friday, of course, when it drops. So yeah, I watched it in bed on a phone. Don't judge me. I wanted to watch it. I wanted to be comfortable and watch it laying down. So I had to watch it on a phone. So yeah, but I think the first time I watched this episode though, I don't know. For some reason I was kind of criticizing it because I thought it was like not paced well or something like that. I don't know. It's just like I feel like there should have been a little more in this episode as opposed to like the first 3 episodes, which I thought were perfect. I thought this episode maybe should have been longer. So yeah, that's where I was in the middle of the night after I watched episode 4. But then I watched it later on Friday, and I actually quite enjoyed this episode. And I don't think I liked it as much as the first 3 episodes, because the first 3 episodes are great. I love the first 3 episodes, and I think I really like this episode. And I gotta say, I think a lot of this episode is really sweet. I mean, you talk about the kids like playing with Yoda, of course. It's pretty awesome. I mean, you have the girl at the end of the episode having to say bye to Yoda, baby Yoda, of course. She had to say bye to him, and that almost made me cry. I was like, oh man, don't make me cry, man, because that's what I would be like if I had to say bye to baby Yoda after spending some time with them, because that would be tormenting on me. That would suck. But yeah, that's a sweet part of it, seeing the kids interact with baby Yoda. Seeing baby Yoda in this episode, I think, yeah, it's super sweet. But there's also action in the episode, of course, with, of course, these raiders that come in and, like, they just, like, rampage to this village, of course. It's just, like, a nice village, and these raiders are like, hey, we're gonna take them, of course, we're gonna take your harvest, like, your crops. And yeah, they're hella mean. So yeah, and of course use the ATSD, which is, yeah, I don't know how they got that. Maybe the Empire came in that plan in the past, and maybe it's one of the last remnants of what they left behind. And of course the villagers get the Mandalorian, they help them take down those raiders and the ATSD, which is later revealed in the episode. And that's where we see, of course, Cara Dune, played by Gina Carano, who is in this episode. And I mean, the stuff I've seen Gina Carano in, I really haven't been impressed. We had that like movie Haywire, of course, which is the first thing I think she was in. And I think they dubbed over her lines in that movie because it wasn't her speaking, I guess. And then, of course, she was in a Fast and Furious movie. I forget which one. But yeah, but she's just in those movies for the action. And I think a lot of the reasons she's in this episode is because of the action. But I do like how she read her lines in this episode. I do think this is probably the best thing I've seen her in so far. And I think it's the best performance I've seen of her so far. So I actually really liked her in this episode. I mean, of course, she's a former MMA fighter. So, you know, she's brought to this episode for the action, of course, but I thought, okay, I think she was really good in the episode, and I think she acted pretty well in the episode, and I hope we see her down the line in another episode, because it's kind of like, okay, one episode, I don't think is enough for me to see her again, or maybe if she's not in the rest of the season, she'll come back for like season 2 or something like that. I think she will. We'll see her back in The Mandalorian at some point. So yeah, but cross my fingers, it's gonna be later on in this season. And overall, I really actually dug the vibe of this episode. And I actually did like the pacing of the episode on like the second watch. And I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe I was overthinking and trying to find something to criticize in The Mandalorian, which I haven't had much to really criticize it so far in the first 3 episodes. So yeah, hopefully it really it just still excites me, these remaining episodes. I think it will. And yeah, on second rewatch, I think this episode actually was a really sweet episode. A little different from the first 3, but I really actually dug it. And of course, I forgot to mention I don't know the actress's name, but I guess the main woman that leads the village, of course. I'm not sure if she leads the village, but It's of course the woman that the Mandalorian has like the interactions with in this episode. Of course, you see her where she's tries to take off his helmet, and of course she says, "No, I don't really want to, and I really want to stay here, but I want to leave Baby Yoda here." Which of course we're not gonna see him leave Baby Yoda, and that's where it's all, of course, the bounty hunter Argos come in, and then yeah, he's trying to shoot Baby Yoda, and that's not allowed. And then of course Gina Carano takes him out. Cara Dune takes him out, right, like right behind him. So yeah, but I did like the actress in the episode that played the woman who is kind of caretaking this village. So I really liked her, and I really liked her interactions with the Mandalorian in this episode. And we did see him take off the helmet, of course, and he actually mentioned he takes off the helmet when he's not like with somebody, of course, when he's in private, of course. So yeah, he's definitely not like doing everything with the helmet on. So yeah, and he also did take off the helmet later on in the episode when he was, I think he was eating, and he said he would only take it off in private, but that was sort of not private because you like people can see him through that window. So I was thinking, okay, that's not really private. You're kind of showing your face if somebody actually looks into the way towards that window, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, I guess it's sort of private. I don't know. And going back to the ATSD, I really liked how they made this thing look menacing. And one of the things they did with it that made it look menacing was like the red lights that came from like the cockpit of the ATST, which I think, yeah, made it look like eyes. It made it look like red eyes, and that made it look like, okay, that thing's looking at you, that thing's gonna fire at you. It made it look like an animal of some sort, and that's what I really dug about the walker in this episode, which I thought was pretty cool. So yeah, so overall, I thought the episode was pretty cool. I liked it, and I thought it was a kind of a cool down from the first 3 episodes. But of course, with the ending, of course, we're gonna get back into the mix with the story that prolongs this season. So I think, yeah, I'm looking forward to the last 4 episodes, and we're halfway through. So yeah, halfway through with The Mandalorian, 4 episodes ago. And of course we have The Last Jedi, or not The Last Jedi, The Rise of Skywalker coming towards like the end of the month, well, on the 20th, of course. And that's actually the week of that, we get the last episode of The Mandalorian, which is crazy. It's gonna be a crazy week of Star Wars. I mean, we've already seen a crazy month, a crazy 2 months of Star Wars pretty much at this end of the year. So yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch. So did you like this episode of The Mandalorian? Tell me down below, where would you rank it with the 4 episodes that are now out? So yeah, tell me down below in the comment section if you want. So until next time, I will see you folks later. I am out.